If you can't go thrifting, the second best option is to go thrifting with me. I'm gonna take you on a full day, 9 to 7 thrifting spree throughout Chicago. Now, a lot of you know I live here in Indianapolis, so it's a 3-hour drive to Chicago. I thought I'd take you along for the ride with me to show you what I got. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I've been reselling clothing for the past 8 years. I used to sell antiques, collectibles all the way since I was in high school, and I'm 37 now. So I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to buying and reselling things. I like to call myself a personal shopper now because a reseller is so frowned upon, but no, I'm just kidding. I'll call myself whatever. I want to take you along in these videos and just show you the brand knowledge. Like, there's a ton of videos out there that talk about the business side of eBay and, all the technicals, but I want to give you guys the actual in-depth, detailed knowledge of what you should be buying out there to make a profit. If you want that type of information, subscribe and like to the channel. I'm gonna start bringing you all of it. I'm a former teacher who taught for 13 years. I was off of social media. Now I'm on it, so let's go. All right, enough of that. I went to Chicago with my friend Bearded Thrifter. You can follow him on all platforms, but I'm sure you've seen him around, especially if you follow me on all other platforms. I'm very active. I go live often. You know Bearded Thrifter. So I went up to Chicago with Bearded all day, 9 to 7. Here's what we got. I'll see you. Yeah, I just did that. We just drove 3 hours to Chicago and I was pumped up for our first thrift store. Got my cart rolled in. Whenever I go to new thrift stores, I go to the first cart, or any thrift stores, I go to the first cart, and I try to check out what patterns are going on, especially in a new city. They were rolling out green tags, so that must be the new inventory, which it was. And this first sweater I found was called Laura Ashley. I only know about this brand because my friend, shout out Reisner, told me about it recently, and they sell for pretty good money. I'll talk later on about how much I think I'll get for all these items at the end of the video. The comps on that sweater are all over the place, but I think I will be able to get 30 plus on it. I went over to the men's section. They had this Gitman Brothers shirt. This is a really well-made shirt. Actually, they make them in the USA. They sell for over $20 every time. I definitely like to check over, make sure all the buttons are there, none are cracked, none are broken, and no stains, so I snagged that. Know a lot of you already know this brand, but there are always new eyes. This brand is called Cool with the K. It has that little mountain logo. I'll show you another hit here. And this was actually 100% wool. You don't find that often. It had definitely some little fuzzes on it. I wanted to make sure they would come off, take it home, lint roll it. But I always tell people, if you're looking for good hiking brands, walk around REI or look online and you'll see the more expensive ones. Those are the ones you want to look out in the thrift stores. This is a really well-made brand called Duluth Trading Company. I used to buy quite a bit of it, but it just doesn't sell like it used to. But these shackets do really well. They're actually a snap metal button and they're fleece lined, as you can see here. I want to make sure the snaps worked. But I bought this for $10 and these always sell for around $39 for me. Again, I don't buy all Duluth. Just because I'm buying this doesn't mean go buy everything. And it also depends on your buy cost. You already know I had to go over and mess with Bearded in his cart. You can see I had a whole bunch of toys and hard goods in there, which is great because it just goes to show you there's a ton of money to be made all over the thrift store. This is some sort of Pokemon ball, but he said it's worth money, so I believe him. This is my first time going into a Savers thrift store. I see people talk about them all the time. It was really expensive, to be honest, but I did find Oprah Winfrey The Show vintage crew neck. These things are actually worth $75 for real. I looked up comps, $75 all over the place, so I picked it up. I had to get out of there and go back to Goodwill. Savers was just too expensive. It got a thumbs down. Went back to Goodwill, and obviously I'm looking at green tags again. Diesel jeans. I've been picking these up since 2016. They always sell for me. It really doesn't matter what the style name is on these. As long as they're in good condition and they have a good buy cost. These were $10. I can flip these into $40 pretty easily. I got to look through every piece of clothing on these new carts, women's, men's, it doesn't matter. I want to find whatever's profitable. And I ran into this white t-shirt. It just looks like a plain old t-shirt, but it's actually made by American Giant, which is a really good brand to be on the lookout for. But I put it in the cart. Later on, I look up comps and they just weren't there for that shirt. I did, however, find this Carhartt flannel. I like the thick ones, and I like them if they're a bigger size. This thing costs $7. I usually flip them into $22. They come down in price just a little bit. This golf brand right here is one you should be looking for. It's called G4. Golf brands have seemed to go in and out over the years. G4 is in right now, so this one's worth around $30. One right here, a Travis Matthew, Adam Odell, little tag on the side of it. I picked it up, but I actually ended up putting it back just because they're kind of out right now. Also, Under Armour polos, I used to sell these all the time, bread and butter. I would have put this one back, but it was actually a 3XL. So I wanted to check it over, make sure there are no stains or anything. There were two of them right in a row, so I might just lot these up together. They were $7 a piece, so I'll end up selling them for around $23 a piece. If they were a medium, small, or large, I would have probably just left them behind, but 3XL, I'll take them. So got a pretty good amount of stuff at that store, checked out, went to the next one. And as you can imagine, I went for the green tags. In this shirt right here, I thought it was an Orvis at first, but it wasn't. I'll talk about it later on in the video. But it had that pew pew patch, and it had the little elbow patches, all the things you're really looking for. Kind of had that moleskin feel. If you don't know what that is, it's almost like a heavy velvet, but pick that one up. These pants right here always do well for me. They're Oakley, but they were too messed up, and they just weren't worth the money, so I did not pick these up. And there was another pair right there, and they were messed up too. But in between them was a pair of Polo Ralph Lauren with some nice details. If they did not have these little buckles in the back, I wouldn't have picked them up. But with Polo Ralph Lauren, the littlest detail can bring good money. I was really excited when I saw this vintage t-shirt. I love buying vintage t-shirts. People don't think I do. I really do love buying them. But that market is just so competitive right now. This one was made in the USA. It had that 80s, 90s graphic on it. It even had the artist. It was $5. I looked it up and it just wasn't worth it. There wasn't enough meat on the bones for this one, so I put it back. They probably just put these shirts out. Why? Because they were green tag. Again, you have to find a theme in these stores. These are mezzanine and main shirts. They were $6 a piece. I sell these quite often for around 25. I used to get around 40 for them, but they're a little oversaturated now. So definitely pick those up, turn those into 25 each. One thing I've never come across are Lilly Pulitzer jeans. Maybe you have. So I have no idea how much these actually sell for. So what did I do? I got out my phone, looked up comps right there in the store, and they totally were not worth it. While I was checking out, in the background was this Macintosh display case. If you don't know Macintosh, you should. This is something to be on the lookout for. They have really high-end audio equipment. I called up the manager to see if it worked. It did not work, so she took half off. It was actually $500, so I only paid $250 for it. I know I said only, but that's actually a pretty good deal because they sell for around $1,500. I'm actually going to give that to a friend. He's just going to give me $250. I went to the next thrift store, and I found this Lululemon right away. It's a quarter zip long sleeve with a hood. Had to check it over and look at the size tag. Underneath, you will see the size tag quite often. It was a 2XL, which is bigger the better. Like always, I'll turn that into probably $30. Also found this Holderness and Bourne, brand new with tags hoodie. I've never seen a new with tags hoodie of this brand. They usually come in golf polos or golf quarter zips, but really good pickup. This thing costs $10. I'll be able to flip this into probably 40 or $50. For some reason, this store was heavy long sleeve golf stuff. This is a Johnny O quarter zip pullover. I'll probably be able to sell this for around $23. Welcome back in. The bad news is I was not able to film the entire thrift haul. I just got distracted. We were going 9 to 7. But the good news is I have the whole haul here. I'm going to go over all the pieces I got, including some that you didn't see, the best ones there. And I'm going to tell you how much I paid for each piece, about how much I think I'll get for each piece. And at the very end of the video, I'll break down all the numbers. A lot of these pieces you saw during the video, so I'll go quickly. That cool shirt, pay $9, will probably get $35 for that. This is that Holderness and Bourne. I'll bring it closer so you can see the actual name of it. I've never seen it with the B like I said in the video, and paid $10 for this, probably get about $35 for that. Lululemon. This is a hoodie quarter zip. You actually don't see these very often. Paid $7 for it. And again, in the video, I talked more about that one. Probably get around $30, $35 out of that. 3 mezzanine and main. So there's a good look at these shirts. Talked about those in the video again. Paid $6 a piece for these. So those would be great. Turn those into about 25 each. This I did not show in the video. This is a Lilly Pulitzer. So a lot of times in the women's section, this trip I didn't have a ton of time in each thrift store to hit the women's section. You saw that. But I do run through them really quick. And if I see that Lilly Pulitzer just shout out at me, and this thing was screaming out at me, I went over and I picked it up. So Lilly Pulitzer, again, we went over those jeans. I'm not sure if I talked about the jeans, but there were some jeans in the video that were not worth picking up. Lilly Pulitzer jeans do not bring a lot. It's just these bright color stuff. This was actually $250. So the orange tags were half off. I think this was the only orange tag I found. Definitely get 20 plus out of that. This I thought was Orvis, but it says boy. It's very similar to Orvis, but it has this pew pew patch here and the elbow pads like we talked about in the video. $6 into probably around 35. I did not show you this in the video. This was a really good pickup. This actually came with my favorite pickup at the bottom, but look at this. 7 for All Mankind, brand new with tags, but the best part about it is Dojo jeans. If you know, you know. New with tags. Now, I did pay up for these at $13, but for those of you who know, that's not paying up. These will sell for minimum 50 bucks. I don't think I've ever sold these new with tags, but these are so hot right now with these big wide leg flare. But again, new with tags, I couldn't believe it. Dojo jeans. We went over this brand too, G4, but I didn't give you a good look at it. You want to look for that logo. They make shoes, shorts, all sorts of stuff, but this is a hot brand right now. We talked about it. $6 and probably over 30. Again, we talked about this Carhartt. I like to get the heavier flannel ones. Again, this was $6 or $7 into probably right around 25, 30 bucks. Two, we talked about these. The 3XL, again, I am not going with Under Armour polos very often anymore, but when they're a really big size, they sell well. So I'll keep getting those. We talked about these diesel jeans. Again, paid $5.50, but again, I want to give you a better look. These are Zaf. It doesn't matter what the name is. As long as they're diesel jeans and they don't have a lot of heel drag, I'm picking them up. Also, we call this the gusset or the crotch, but make sure that the crotch isn't really worn out and lots of chafing there. You don't want that. Did not show this in the video. So these are girls, a North Face. Actually, I got this with the Dojo and my favorite item, but these are the girls' North Face just snow pants. And a little tip for you. With these snow pants, whenever you find snow pants, give these bottoms, they're elastic, give them a good stretch because sometimes they're dry rotted and the second you stretch them, they just fall apart and they're no good. So these I actually paid a little bit more for, $8 for some girl pants, but these will turn into probably 25 and I'll probably just sell those on Marketplace locally. Here's that brand again. I'll give you a better look at that. Laura Ashley. Did not know much about this brand until recently. Shout out Reisner. The made in Scotland ones, this is pure wool, and it is a size small, which might hurt it, but we talked about that in the video. Again, talked more about this in the video, but with Polo Ralph Lauren, details matter, and details matter with these pants. Talked about this in the video. Johnny O. Want to look for the little logo on the back, the little hit anywhere. Is that one actually, there's no hit on the back. The hit's actually better. It's on the chest. So that's a good thing. This was $7. With Johnny O, I'm usually just picking up the performance now. The cotton don't do as well as it used to for me. Didn't show this in the video. Got these Duluth fire hose pants. These things you've probably seen. They're super thick. They're called fire hose for a reason because they feel like a fire hose. Really, really thick. But they have these rivets. You'll notice the rivets when out there searching for them. Big cargo pockets. But I always sell these for right around $25. Paid $7.99 for those. Did pay up a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of buying with cost, but check this shirt out. So this is I call it a rugby style because it's a long sleeve polo. So it's called long sleeve polo rugby. But I ended up paying $10 for it. But I'll tell you why. It's a Lacoste sport, which is fine, but it's a 10R. And a 10R is equivalent to like a 3XL. So the bigger, the better. With this one, I'll probably turn this one into $30, maybe even more, but we'll just say $30. We talked about this in the video, these Duluth shackets. Again, they're really, really heavyweight. Paid $10 for this, but I turn these into 40. Whenever I find these sell in the fall and winter really quickly. A lot of you know I'm a seasonal seller just because the amount of inventory I get. So right now is the middle of winter, so I'll be listing things like that right away. The Lilly Pulitzer and shorts like these right here, these North Face, these aren't priority right now. These are going to wait till the spring and summer. Now, if I get through everything, I'll list these, but right now priority is obviously the stuff that people are wearing right now because it's cold most places. Of course, these things sell. I keep them in my store. They sell year round, but just once the cold weather hits, these shorts and short sleeve stuff just don't sell very quickly. But these North Face shorts, they're hiking shorts with the cargo pockets. Paid $8 for these. I usually like to pay around $5, but they sell for $23, and on the trip, I'm like, I might as well get it. I'm going to save this one for later. This is my favorite. What I don't have here, I don't think, is my Oprah Winfrey what was it, crew neck that was vintage. I talked about that, but they do go for $75, believe it or not. You guys know me with the Surf's Up method. Polo Ralph Lauren, love these shirts. So this year actually last year in 2023, I implemented these shirts into my routine. I never pick shirts like this up, but if there were shirts that I could pick up, list them really quickly, as in take pictures and list them in under 2 minutes and make more than $10 profit, I'm going to pick them up. So these are now a staple in my business. And this gingham check, this is called gingham check. Looks like a picnic table, but this is just has a blue instead of a red pattern. I picked these up. So these I turn into, this one will be about $22 because of the pattern. Posted this on my IG account. If you don't follow me, you can follow me over there. I post different pictures throughout the day when I go thrifting, but this is Barbour, really good jacket brand. A lot of times you'll find them in the wax jackets. That's what they're really known for. But this one is obviously a quilted, heavyweight, like flannel inside jacket, flannel line jacket, $15. My guess is I'll get around $30 to $50 out of that one. Is this a Polo Ralph Lauren? Yeah, Polo Ralph Lauren. But again, that last one's going to bring about 20, 22. This one's going to bring about 25, maybe 27. Why? Because it's a 3XB. So it's a big size gingham check. Paid $8 for it. Same thing. This one was right next to it. Sorry to not get these in the video, but these are the Chicago Goodwill tags. Again, 3XB. So the bigger the better. Always look out for the bigger ones, especially when they're the full button-up shirts. I really like them. The polo shirts that you would think of, short sleeve, a lot of times they're dingy on the collar, so make sure that they're not dingy if you get those. And then also check for tum-tum stains. On these big boy shirts, my dad weighed 350 pounds, and he would spill stuff on his shirt a lot, so check the tum-tum part. Carhartt. So I did not show this. Actually, I picked this one up at the very first Goodwill when we were there. I paid $7 for it, which is really good. It has a vintage tag, more of a vintage tag, and bigger the better. It's a 4XL. So really big size, 4XL. This thing will probably sell for around $40. I'm probably conservative because it's big and it's vintage. Again, Polo Ralph Lauren, but this one's more unique because underneath the tag, you'll see right there, if you're out in the wild, you'll look underneath. This is 100% linen. So I paid $7. This will sell for mid-20s. Again, I paid $8 for this one, and it's a short sleeve, but like with the others, this is a 3XB. So a lot of times in the store, you'll go over to a section like, let's say, short sleeve, and you'll find 3XB. I recommend you going over to the long sleeve. More likely, like I did, you find the same thing, just in a longer sleeve. So just be mindful of that when you're thrifting. A lot of you guys aren't new to it and probably know all that, but there are always new eyes. Untuckit, bread and butter brand, $7 into like 2023. I've got 3 of these jeans. They're Mugsy jeans. You're going to be looking for that name right there. These are kind of a newer style. They kind of replaced Page for me. I used to buy Page often and Hudson. These replaced those jeans. These sell for around 25 to 30 each. I paid $6.99 a piece, and these will sell for around 25 to 30 each. So again, I bought 3 pairs of those. And then this G-Star, or not G-Star, G-Star Raw, what is it? Yeah, G-Star Raw. So usually I get jeans and G-Star Raw, but this is a denim shirt, and it's snap. It's a metal snap, so Western shirt. Paid $7 for this. I'm just going to be conservative and say like 20 to 25. It could be more. I didn't even look up comps. It's just one of those things. It's a good brand. It's a denim shirt. Anytime I find a good brand denim with a pearl snap or a snap Western, I pick them up. Now this is my favorite item that I got. And I posted it on my IG and in one of my stories, but check this out. This is a Kuji extra large short sleeve shirt. Now I've found plenty, not plenty, but I've found over the years Kuji sweaters, all sorts of them. Never found a Kuji shirt that is woven. So you have your Kuji little hit right there, and then this is like woven thread. Instead of woven like knit, this is woven thread. Excellent, unworn condition, just beautiful. Look how much I paid for this bad boy. $6. So I don't know how much this will go for. Again, with Kuji, there's so many different patterns, but I'm guessing between $80 and $100 based on the condition alone. All right, so I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and look at numbers and then pretend like I know them off the top of my head. I wrote down every single thing, all the prices I paid, how much I think I will get, and the total cost of goods for everything I got. We're going to minus that Macintosh because I'm buying that and giving it to a friend who's giving me the money. So forget that Macintosh display case, but the cost of goods for everything, after taxes, everything, $280. I will be able to sell all of these items for right around $1,200. And after eBay's fees, which is around 13% or so, and minus the cost of goods, I'll be looking at about $740 in profit. So that one-day trip to Chicago is $740 profit. I know people are going to be like, what about the cost of gas and all that stuff? It's a business trip. So I write off the mileage. I actually drive an electric car, charge it here at my house, super cheap, and I get to write off part of that because it's all part of my business. So the costs are very minimal as far as my traveling to Chicago and back. So after all said and done, even if you want to go with that, $700 one day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more. I'll see you in the next one.